Hello, welcome to Reading Granddaddy's Bible, where I'm reading 1914 Douai-Rheims edition of the 1889 publication, a 1914 print of the 1889 publication of the Douai-Rheims Catholic Bible, called the Holy Bible, that Catholics use within. Today we're going to be reading verse 19, 20, chapters 19, 20, and 21 of Genesis. So we're missing page 23 and 24 for some reason. I guess at some point it was torn out or lost or what have you. So I'm going to be reading those from Christianity.com, the website which gave me the schedule for reading this Bible in 1 year. Genesis 19. And the two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of the city. And seeing them, he rose up and went to meet them, and worshipped prostrate to the ground, and said, I beseech you, my lord, turn into the house of your servant, and lodge there. Wash your feet, and in the morning you shall go on your way. And they said, No, but we will abide in the street. He pressed them very much to turn in unto him. And when they were come into his house, he made them a feast, and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. But before they went to bed, the men of the city beset the house, both young and old, all the people together. And they called Lot, and said to him, Where are the men that came into thee at night? Bring them out hither, that we may know them. Lot went out to them, and shut the door after him, and said, Do not so, I beseech you, my brethren, do not commit this evil. I have 2 daughters, who as yet have not known man. I will bring them out to you, and abuse you them as it shall please you, so that you do no evil to these men, because they are come in under the shadow of my roof. But they said, Get thee back thither. And again, Thou camest in, said they, as a stranger was it to be a judge. Therefore we will afflict thee more than them. And they pressed very violently upon Lot, and they were even at the point of breaking open the doors. And behold, the men put out their hand, and drew in Lot unto them, and shut the door. And them that were without they struck with blindness, from the least to the greatest, so that they could not find the door. And they said to Lot, Hast thou here any of thine son-in-law, or sons or daughters? All that are thine, bring them out of the city, for we will destroy this place, because their cry has grown loud before the Lord, who hath sent us to destroy them. So Lot went out, and spoke to his sons-in-law, that were to have his daughters, and said, Arise, get you out of this place, because the Lord will destroy the city. And he seemed to them to speak as it were in jest. And when it was morning, the angels pressed him, saying, Arise, take thy wife and the 2 daughters that thou hast, lest thou also perish in the wickedness of the city. And he lingered, and as he lingered, they took his hand, and the hand of his wife, and of his 2 daughters, because the Lord spared him. And they brought forth him, and set him without the city. And there they spoke to him, saying, Save thy life, look not back, neither stay thou in all the country about, but save thyself in the mountain, lest thou be also consumed. And Lot said to them, I beseech thee, my lord, because thy servant hath found grace before thee, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shown to me, in saving my life, and I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil seize me, and I die. There is this city here at hand, to which I may flee. It is a little one, and I shall be saved in it. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said to him, Behold also in this, I have heard thy prayers, not to destroy the city for which thou hast spoken. Make haste, and be saved there, because I cannot do anything till thou go in thither. Therefore the name of that city was called Segor. The sun was risen upon the earth, and Lot entered into Segor. And the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. He destroyed these cities, and all the country about, all the inhabitants of the cities, and all things that spring from the earth. And his wife, looking behind her, was turned into a statue of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning, and in the place where he had stood before with the Lord, he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and the whole land of that country, and he saw the ashes rise up from the earth, as the smoke of a furnace. Now when God destroyed the cities of that country, remembering Abraham, he delivered Lot out of the destruction of the cities wherein he had dwelt. And Lot went up out of Segor, and abode in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he was afraid to stay in Segor. And he dwelt in a cave, and his 2 daughters with him. And the elder said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is no man left on the earth to come into us after the manner of the whole earth. Come, let us make him drunk with wine, and let us lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and the elder went in and lay with her father, but he perceived not, neither when his daughter lay down, nor when she rose up. And the next day the elder said to the younger, Behold, I lay last night with my father. Let us make him drink wine also tonight, and thou shalt lie with him, that we may have seed of our father. They made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and lay with him. And neither then did he perceive when she lay down, nor when she rose up. So the daughters of Lot were with child by their father. And the elder bore a son, and she called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites unto this day. The younger also bore a son, and she called his name Ammon, and that is the son of my people. And he is the father of Ammonites to this day. Genesis chapter 20. Abraham sojourned in Gerara. Sara is taken into King Abimelech's house, but by God's commandment is restored untouched. Abraham removed from thence to the south country, and dwelt between Kadesh and Sur, and sojourned in Gerara. And he said to Sarah his wife, She is my sister. He said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. So Abimelech the king of Gerara sent and took her. And God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and he said to him, Lo, thou shalt die for the woman thou hast taken, for she hath a husband. Now Abimelech had not touched her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay a nation that is ignorant and just? Did not he say to me, She is my sister? And she say, He is my brother? In the simplicity of my heart and cleanness of my hands, I have done this. And God said to him, And I know that thou didst it with a sincere heart, and therefore I withheld thee from sinning against me, and I suffered thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. But if thou wilt not restore her, know that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. And Abimelech, forthwith rising up in the night, called all his servants, and spoke all these words in their hearing. And all the men were exceedingly afraid. And Abimelech called also for Abraham, and said to him, What hast thou done to us? What have we offended thee in, that thou hast brought upon my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done to us what thou oughtest not do. And again he expostulated with him, and said, What sawest thou, that thou hast done this? Abraham answered, I thought with myself, saying, perhaps there is no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me for the sake of my wife. Howbeit otherwise also, she is truly my sister, the daughter of my father, and not the daughter of my mother. And her I took her to wife. And after God brought me out of my father's house, I said to her, Thou shalt do me this kindness in every place to which we shall come. Thou shalt say that I am thy brother. And Abimelech took sheep, oxen, and servants, and handmaids, and gave to Abraham, and restored him to Sara, his wife, and said, The land is before you, dwell wheresoever it shall please thee. And to Sara he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. This shall serve thee for a covering of thy eyes to all that are with thee. And whithersoever thou shalt go, and remember thou wast taken. And when Abraham prayed, God healed Abimelech and his wife and his handmaids, and they bore children. For the Lord had closed up every womb of the house of Abimelech on account of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Chapter 21. Isaac is born. Agar and Ismael are cast forth. And the Lord visited Sara, as he had promised, and fulfilled what he had spoken. And she conceived, and bore a son in her old age, at that time, at the time that God had foretold her. And Abraham called the name of his son, whom Sarah bore him, Isaac. And he circumcised him the 8th day, as God had commanded him, when he was 100 years old. For at this age of his father Isaac was born. And Sarah said, God hath made a laughter for me. Whosoever shall hear of it will laugh with me. And again she said, Whom? She said, Who would believe that Abraham should hear that Sarah gave suck to a son, whom she bore to him in his old age? And the child grew, and was weaned, and Abraham made the great feast of the day of his weaning. And when Sarah had seen the son of Agar the Egyptian playing with Isaac her son, she said to Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with my son Isaac. Abraham took this grievously for his son. And God said to him, Let it not seem grievous for thee for the boy, and for thy bondwoman, in all that Sarah hath said to thee. Hearken to her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. But I will make the son also of the bondwoman a great nation, because he is thy seed. So Abraham rose up in the morning, and taking bread and the bottle of water, put it upon her shoulder, and delivered the boy, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And when the water in the bottle was spent, she cast the boy under one of the trees that were there. And she went her way, and sat over against him a great way off, as far as a bow can carry. For she said, I will not see the boy die. And sitting over against, she lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the boy. And an angel of God called to Agar from heaven, saying, What art thou doing, Agar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the boy from the place wherein he is. Arise and take up the boy, and hold him by the hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and went and filled the bottle, and gave the boy to drink. And God was with him, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became a young man, an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran. And his mother took a wife for him out of the land of Egypt. At the same time, Abimelech and Phicol, the general of his army, said to Abraham, God is with thee in all that thou dost. Swear therefore by God that thou wilt not hurt me, nor my posterity, nor my stock, but according to the kindness that I have done thee, thou shalt do to me, and to the land wherein thou hast lived a stranger. And Abraham said, I will swear. And he reproved Abimelech for a well of water, which his servants had taken away by force. And Abimelech answered, I knew not who did this thing, and thou didst not tell me, and I heard not of it till today. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and both of them made a league. And Abraham set apart 7 ewe lambs of the flock. And Abimelech said to him, What mean these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set apart? But he said, Thou shalt take 7 ewe lambs at, at my hand, that they may be a testimony for me, that I dug this well. Therefore that place was called Beersheba, because there both of them did swear. And they made a league for the well of oath. And Abimelech and Phicol, the general of his army, arose and returned to the land of the Philistines. But Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and there called upon the name of the Lord, God eternal. And he was a sojourner in the land of the Philistines many days. Let's go back and read the subtext. It isn't chapter 21, verse 3, Isaac. This word signifies laughter. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining me reading Granddaddy's Bible. Again, we're using the Christianity.com Bible reading plan for Bible in a Year for the Douai-Rheims edition, 1889, which this one was printed in 1914. That concludes everything, the reading for today in this version, and we'll probably be adding the Young's literal translation to this channel soon. So look out for those. Thank you. Bye bye. God bless you.